him, everything he did, that hat grab, everything about it was just like, everything that Cristobal said about him, everything, it's like, feels like this is a guy that was probably high on the dog draft board down there in Houston, if I had to guess.
He was on the dog board for sure.
Yeah, I could imagine.
He was on the dog board. I love that. So Sam and I were thinking about this yesterday, and we're like, we got to bring this up on the show tomorrow. Who are the greatest dogs in Tampa Bay sports history? Who are the biggest dogs in Tampa Bay sports history? I said earlier in the show, for me, I don't know that it's close when it comes to number one. This guy was such a dog, he carried it off the field. This guy was such a dog that when I moved to Tampa Bay, people used to, when I'd start to talk to people, I was working at a post office and all this different stuff. And sometimes when I would tell people what I wanted to do, I was getting into sports talk radio and all this stuff. Almost immediately, people would tell me about how much they loved John Lynch, who, by the way, was a dog, but this is not who I'm talking about right now. How much they loved guys like Mike Allstott and Rondé Barber. And almost inevitably, as part of the conversation, they'd go, "Yeah, but Warren Sapp's a dick. Sorry, Bob." But so many people would tell me that all the time. The guy was such a dog, he carried it off the field. You didn't even want to walk up to him in public because he might bite your head off. Like, that is a dog. You see a dog, you're like, oh, look at the cute dog. I want to go pat him. You see Warren Sapp as a Bucs fan, you're like, oh, my God, it's Warren Sapp. I want to go say hello, ask for an autograph, whatever it might be. But you don't want him to bite your head off, so you stay away because he's a dog. On the text line, Chris Kasak, our friend who used to work with us here, he said, Warren Sapp all day, biggest dog. I totally agree. Is there anybody in your mind, Sam, that's even close to Warren Sapp when it comes to being a dog?
Probably not.
I don't think so. Interesting answer here on the text line, Joe Juravicius, underrated dog. I don't know if I would have described him as a dog. I remember Joe a lot, too. Even though I wasn't here yet, because I grew up a New York Giants fan where he played as well. Ryan McDonough, the most underrated dog in Lightning hockey of the last 15 years.
I'm not agreeing with that one.
He's a great player and has been. I'm not calling him a has-been. I'm saying he has been a great player. But I don't know that I agree with you. I don't know that dog is the first thing that ever came to mind with him. Honestly, to me, Pat Maroon was a dog.
Yeah, especially if you're going to say the last 15 years of Lightning hockey. How about a guy named Brian Boyle, who was just a dog?
Which is incredible because I've only known Brian as a broadcaster. And when I moved here, he was already doing the broadcasting thing. And Brian Boyle could not be a nicer dude. Like, he is such a nice guy.
Yeah, but I mean,
Have you met Brian? He's outstanding.
I have not, but you beat cancer, you come back, and just, punching people's face in, grimy goals, net front, dog.
Yeah. I mentioned John Lynch, Mike Allstott, to me, absolute dogs, the way they played football, just from the standpoint of you didn't want to hit either one of them. You didn't want to have to tackle Mike Allstott, and you sure as hell didn't want John Lynch tackling you. Those guys were dogs. My Big Mike the Goon said Warren Sapp, big Pitbull Rottweiler. I wonder what a Pitbull Rottweiler mix would look like. I bet that'd be a really cute dog.
Like
that'd be a cute dog. No, it wouldn't look like Warren Sapp. It'd be a cute dog.
Hey, did you just call him not cute?
Yeah, I called Warren Sapp not. Do you think Warren Sapp would want me calling him cute?
He'd probably kill you for saying it, honestly.
You meet Warren Sapp, go, hey, you cute. See, let me know how that works out for you. Yeah, let me know how that works out for you. Somebody mentioned Michael Bennett. That's an interesting name. Very good football player. I don't know if I could call him a dog. So I mentioned earlier that when we first mentioned this in the 6:30 headlines, that I said a name to you yesterday, and I'm like, I don't know that a lot of guys are going to bring up this name, but to me, he was a dog and integral in turning, at one point, the Rays franchise around. And then after I told you, I don't know that many people are going to bring this guy up. He was the first name texted in today, and I've seen him at least once more, maybe twice more since then. Johnny Gomes. For a baseball player, Johnny Gomes is a dog. And anybody that was at Al Lang that day, and I'm fortunate enough that I was, that's when I was covering the Rays a lot for the station I started with. And anybody who was in that ballpark that day, when I think it was Shelley Duncan came in spikes high to second base, and then it was all hell because Johnny Gomes came all the way from right field to go, no, you don't. And the fight broke out, and I'm telling you, if you find me somebody that was in the building that day that tells you they didn't feel something, like something turn in that moment, that changed the Rays franchise. I'm telling you, Johnny Gomes and what happened that day, that was the day that the Rays were like, not anymore. We're not being pushed around anymore. And I'm telling you, that was a big part of turning this entire franchise around. Johnny Gomes, absolutely a dog. Someone brought up Evan Longoria. I love Evan Longoria.
Not a dog.
Not a dog.
Just great ball player, not a dog. If we're going to talk Rays dogs, though, I told you this one before the show. Go back to 2012 specifically when he had a .6 ERA and almost 50 saves. Fernando Rodney with the sideways hat, just throwing absolute gas and then shooting arrows through the stadium.
I love Fernando Rodney.
Dog. Absolute dog.
Somebody brought up a name that I hadn't thought about, and I felt like when you said to me earlier Grant Balfour, and I was kind of on the fence about Grant Balfour, and then somebody texted in a name that for a bullpen guy, and I think it's in part because we've seen him beat the bleep out of people before he was with the Rays. Kyle Farnsworth was a dog. Remember Kyle Farnsworth?
Dog.
Like,
absolute dog.
If you go, hey, walk into the Rays clubhouse and pick a dude to fight, he's one of the last guys on that team, Kyle Farnsworth, that I'm going into that clubhouse looking for a fight. That dude was a dog, no doubt about it.